Rewire your mindset for real wealth. Welcome to Profit DNA.
You know what's wild? Most traders are fighting their own brains, and they don't even realize it. We wake up, grab coffee, stare at charts, and wonder why we keep making the same mistakes over and over. Here's the thing. Your brain isn't designed for trading, not the way most people do it anyway. But there's this routine, came out of Japan, and it flips everything on its head. Traders using it aren't just making better decisions, they're actually enjoying the process. Imagine that. So here's how it works. You wake up, and before you touch your phone, before you check futures, you get sunlight, real sunlight, on your face. Sounds too simple, right? But this isn't some mystical practice, it's neuroscience. Morning light sets your internal clock, gets cortisol flowing at the right time. When you skip this step, your stress hormones are already out of whack before the market even opens. You're fighting uphill all day. Think about it. How many times have you jumped straight into your charts, heart already racing, mind already scattered? The next part seems weird, but stick with me. Silence. Just 10 minutes of it. Not meditation exactly, not forcing anything, just sitting there, letting your brain boot up properly instead of flooding it with notifications, news, price alerts. Your mind needs this. It needs space to organize itself before the chaos begins. And here's where it gets interesting. Before you look at any chart, you remember yesterday. What happened in your last trade? What did you learn? Can you say it out loud right now without looking at notes? This is called active recall, and it's how you actually learn from expensive mistakes instead of repeating them every single week. Think of it like preparing soil before you plant. You're not trading yet, you're preparing the mental space where good decisions can actually grow. Only then, after light, silence, recall, do you open your charts, and something feels different. You're not desperate, you're not anxious, you're ready. The Japanese have this concept called ma. It's the space between things, the pause, the breath. Most traders chain their decisions together. Trade, trade, trade. No space, no recovery. Your brain gets exhausted and you don't even notice until you've blown through your daily risk limit.
Ma is intentional emptiness. After a trade, you step back. Even if it's just 30 seconds, you break the emotional momentum. Because here's what nobody tells you. Decision fatigue is real. Your 10th trade of the day, your brain's running on fumes. You're not making strategic choices anymore. You're just reacting. Athletes rest between sets. Why don't traders rest between decisions? Ma gives you that reset, that space to breathe, to check in with yourself, to ask, am I still trading my plan or am I trading my emotions? When the session ends, it ends. No revenge trading, no just one more setup. You close the laptop and you walk away. Evening is when the magic really happens. You write down 3 things. That's it. 3 lessons from today. Not a novel, not a detailed dissertation. 3 clear, simple lessons. Maybe you noticed you trade better in the first hour. Maybe you realized you're still struggling with cutting winners short. Maybe you discovered a pattern in how you react to losses. 3 things before bed. Here's why this matters. While you sleep, your brain's filing cabinet opens up. It takes whatever you reviewed before bed and locks it into long-term memory. The market just charged you tuition. Could be $50, could be $500. This simple evening practice is how you make sure you actually graduate instead of repeating the same expensive class forever. None of this requires fancy indicators, no new strategy, no screaming motivation videos at 5 in the morning. It's rhythm. Trading becomes part of a lifestyle that works with your biology instead of constantly fighting against it. See, most traders approach this like a war. They think success comes from discipline, from forcing yourself to stick to rules, from sheer willpower. But willpower runs out. Discipline cracks under pressure. This routine doesn't rely on willpower. It prepares the foundation. It creates conditions where good decisions come naturally because your brain is actually functioning the way it's supposed to. The traders who figured this out, they stopped white-knuckling through their days. They stopped burning out every few months and having to take breaks to recover. They're still here months later, years later, because the routine protects them from themselves. Think about your current routine and be honest. Does it set you up for success or does it set you up for stress? Are you checking your phone before your feet hit the floor? Scrolling through financial news while you're still in bed? Looking at overnight futures moves before you've even fully woken up? You're priming your nervous system for anxiety before the day even starts. Now, imagine a different morning. Sunlight first, silence next. Recall your lessons. Then, only then, you trade. Not as a hack, not as some quick fix, but as a path, one that respects how you're actually built. The beautiful thing about this routine is that it compounds. Day one, you might not notice much. Maybe you feel slightly calmer, slightly more focused. But week two, week three, the lessons you reviewed before sleep are actually sticking now. You're not making the same mistake for the fifth time. Month two, your nervous system has adapted to the rhythm. You're not constantly spiking cortisol and crashing. You've got steady energy throughout the session. And here's what really changes: your relationship with trading itself. It stops being this source of constant stress and anxiety. It becomes something you can sustain, something that fits into your life instead of consuming it. Most trading advice focuses on strategy, on setups, on risk management rules. And sure, those matter. But if your brain is fried, if your stress hormones are haywire, if you can't remember the lessons you learned yesterday, none of that other stuff works. You can have the best strategy in the world. If you can't execute it consistently because you're emotionally exhausted, what's the point? This routine addresses the foundation, the mental soil, the biological rhythms that determine whether you can actually implement everything else you know. So tomorrow morning, try it. Just once. See how it feels. Sunlight first. Step outside, even if it's cloudy, even if it's just 5 minutes. Let your eyes absorb that natural light. Then silence. Sit with your tea or your water. No phone, no charts, just breathe. Then recall. What happened yesterday? What did you learn? Say it out loud if you need to. Then trade, and notice the difference. You might find yourself hesitating less, thinking more clearly, feeling more grounded when a trade goes against you. These aren't dramatic changes, they're subtle, but subtle adds up. Remember, the market will always be chaotic. Price will always be unpredictable. There will always be surprise news events and volatility spikes and days that make no sense. You can't control any of that, but you can control your preparation. You can control the state you bring to the market every single day. And over time, that's the only edge that really matters. Not your indicator, not your scanner, you. Your clarity, your consistency, your ability to show up day after day without burning out. The Japanese understood something profound. Success isn't about intensity, it's about sustainability. It's about creating rhythms you can maintain for years, not just weeks. So give yourself that gift, the gift of a routine that actually supports you instead of depleting you. Morning light, silence, recall, space between decisions, evening reflection. That's it. That's the routine. Simple enough that you'll actually do it, powerful enough that it changes everything. The path is there. The question is, will you walk it? Let me know in the comments. I read them all. And hey, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you catch the next one.